Monday will mark the 20th anniversary of the largest aviation disaster in the history of our region, the crash of U.S. Air Flight 427 in Hopewell Township. But while the families of the victims still feel the loss, they also work to create change in the airline industry. KD investigator Andy Sheehan reports.
20 years ago, on a clear, cloudless September night, U.S. Air Flight 427 mysteriously fell from the sky upon its approach to Pittsburgh International, crashing in Hopewell Township, Beaver County, killing all on board. What caused the plane to pitch and roll and spin out of control would become the subject of the longest crash investigation in aviation history.
It took 4 years, 2 public hearings, and thousands of investigative hours. But we were able to find the cause of that tragedy.
The National Transportation Safety Board determined the crash to be the result of an out-of-control rudder caused by a defective valve. Jim Hall, who was NTSB chairman at the time, spoke with us yesterday from Chicago about the changes that finding brought about.
Boeing made almost $1 billion investment in changing the rudders on all the Boeing 737s that fly, which of course is still the most popular aircraft in the world.
But above and beyond determining a cause, the families of the victims fought another battle, redressing the treatment they received from the airline in the aftermath of the crash. Dennis Connolly of Brookline, who lost his twin brother Robert in the crash, said at the time airlines like U.S. Air kept families in the dark.
People that were at the airport to meet the flight were locked up in the U.S. Air Club and weren't told anything. You know, what's going on? Nobody would say anything. They really didn't want you knowing what was going on, and they really didn't want you talking to each other.
The families worked towards the writing and the eventual passage of the Aviation Disaster Family Assistance Act, which establishes airline notification policies and requires them to provide daily briefings and counseling for the families.
Gave it all meaning.
John Kretz of Homestead, who lost his wife Janet in the crash, lobbied for the act and was there when President Clinton signed it into law in 1996.
You know, everybody got to go up and shake his hand, and I just told him thank you. And he actually pulled me back and he said, no, it's us that should thank you people for pushing it through.
Flight 427 never reached Pittsburgh International, and all 132 people on board lost their lives. But out of the pain and suffering of the tragedy, much good has come, something that the families of the victims may always be proud. At Pittsburgh International, Andy Sheehan, KDKA TV News.